All right, Shalom. From the first, we give our praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakah Kodash Bakatham. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and to all the Akim across the globe, pushing the word and truth and sincerity. I want to say Shalom. This is our dying now from the great millstone campus, Chicago, with a lesson. As you can read the title, it says Hispanic man admits they're told to stay away from black Americans in their homes. And I have a personal testimony about a similar situation. I lived in California for some years, and I had a Filipino friend. All right, I had a friend whose mom was Filipino, let's put it like that. And she had told me, she told her son, and his son told me that when she came over here to the Americas, they sat her in a room, like an office room with cubicles, and she was in there with other immigrants and stuff. And on their monitor, they would play images of Jake. All right, of course, Jake in there fighting, pants sagging, fighting, violence, shooting, killing, drugs, and sleeping on the street type things. Creating a image in her head to avoid these people. All right. But in this particular case, his mom loved Jake. A lot of Filipinos love Jake. But he had a gang of black friends, man. But the point being is that these immigrants come to this country, and they're being brainwashed, and they're stereotyping Jake. Mostly the dark skinned Jake. Into getting them to think that we're animals and savages, man. When in all actuality, there are miscreants and deviants in our amongst our people. All right, but to paint them as a people to avoid, all right, is totally it's shit wicked. All right, when Esau they came over here and murdered and tried to annihilate the tribe of Gad and Reuben, man. All right. So we're gonna let the video play, man. And we're gonna listen to it. I'm gonna try to play as much of it I can. It's an 18-minute video. I doubt we're gonna get through the whole 18 minutes plus the lesson. So I'm just gonna let it play, pick out some parts, and Lord willing, this will be edifying.
So there's this video that I saw on TikTok of, this man from the Hispanic community, and they had this particular video going around saying how Mexican dads, respond when their daughter's going to be with a black man, just paraphrasing. And then underneath that particular video, it was just like, boy, the anti-black racism, it was hella, deep in there. You had a lot of them, saying things, but I noticed a trend with the anti-black racism that comes from people that's in the Hispanic community. But let's go ahead and roll this clip, and we want to talk about exactly what this guy is talking about.
Booster because let's talk about this shit, because this shit is so fucking true. A lot of Hispanic and Latino parents will literally try to teach you at a young age to not be friends with black people. And it's fucking disgusting. They show you racism, anti-blackness, like colorism at a fucking young age. You could be a dark-skinned Latino, and yet you will get a lot of fucking hate. Not only that, media will even fucking show that shit too. Where literally they show that white Latinos are literally rich, smart, educated, and they're always holy.
Right now, I've been blessed to be around Israelite brothers in the truth, and I talk to them about these things, about these TV shows that I played on Israelite television, and they said the same thing. A lot of those so-called Mexican or Latino movie stars, they're actually Spaniards, man. All right, and there is a separation just based on color amongst their community, man. So even amongst themselves, all right, they are the prejudice. But this is a stereotype pushed by the powers of the air. All right. Let's get that real quick. She said about the media. So okay. Says sorry, 1 Ephesians 2. Right, Ephesians 2 and 2, it says, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. All right, and we learn, as children, we learn a lot from what's on the television. All right, I know when I was coming up, there wasn't really that many. Well, it kind of was, but there were more, let's say, traditional family. You didn't have a black show like Leave It to Beaver, or a black show like what's the other one, man? Little House on the Prairie and things like that. All right, we had good times. All right, but we all know the scenario in Good Times. We had the Cosby Show came on later, man, much later. All right, that was like really the first time you saw two working parents and a family together. All right, there wasn't no nigga in them, man. After that, you had your Family Matters. But the point being, the television plays a very important role in shaping and molding the minds of people, man. All right, when you set up certain images and hold certain people's complexion in higher regard than others, then it's going to create a self-hatred. It's going to create a separation amongst those people. All right, so just to laying back off what this gentleman said.
Smart, educated, and they're always holy. But when it comes to black people or Afro-Latinos, they're ghetto, they're poor, uneducated, and they're criminals. And not only that, a lot of these celebrities believe this shit too. And also, they do blackface. And that's why a lot of people don't want to unite when it comes to the Hispanic Latino community, because of the amount of fucking anti-blackness, the racism towards black people. And not only that, y'all forget that literally black people have influenced our fucking community so much, from technology, from food, to even music. And some of y'all bitches be dancing to those music that literally were influenced by black people.
Well, I'm gonna say this, all right. It's good to say Jacob is the former of all things. Let's get that. Come on, man. Come on, man. Hold on. All right. So, like, I don't know what's going on. Well, obviously it's not.
I created Hint Water to make water taste better. We started in one grocery store. Now we're online and everywhere. And
dancing to those music.
All right, so we're gonna get this real quick. Jacob, former of all things. You know what? Spirit said this. Judah be the head of Judah. This is Genesis 49 and 8. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy thy father's children shall bow down before thee. All right, and yes, you know the head tribe is Judah. All right, so Judah's gonna have, you know, qualities that are looked up to, man. All right, when it comes to sports and the creativity, of the music, of the dance, the creativity of the style, the walk, the talk, the smoothness. You see, ain't nobody smoother than Judah, man. All right, you know, and they're the head tribe. So what he said was actually scriptural, man, because yes, everybody wants to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. All right, when I say nigga, I mean Jake. I mean the dark. I mean Jake. You know, because one thing about Judah, all right, people follow him. All right, they're gonna follow the trends and the standard that he sets. Okay, why? Because it's prophecy, man. All right. He says, "Salt of the earth." Matthew 5:13, it says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its flavor, wherewith shall it be salted? It's thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out, be trodden under the foot of men." Now, one layer is that, you know, we're really talking about wisdom. All right, going that word salt, it goes in the word wisdom. All right. But also, what is salt? It's flavor, man. All right. Judah has the flavor. Israel in itself has a flavor, because you look at the cultures of the tribes. Hey, man, they swagged out, man. All right. You know, I know some Puerto Ricans, man, they swagged out. Hell, when I go deal with Ariala and, you know, Shawaya and Yawala and, you know, the brother Yanagi and all them, man. Hey, them brothers swagged out, man. All right. So, you know, all the tribes got their own identity, man. They all got their own swag. But Judah, hey man, but it ain't nothing like Judah, man. And this is what it is.
Dancing to those music that literally were influenced by black people.
Well, first of all, I want to give, you know, a shout out to, you know, this young man, because, you know, he didn't have to come out and say anything. Of course, we, you know, a lot of us, you know, knew some of this stuff was going on, but with the rise of TikTok, a lot of people actually speaking out a lot more on that particular app. Now, the way I grew up, just down here, is that we didn't have no issues with, you know, Hispanic people, but it really wasn't Mexicans we was around. It was more Guatemalans, El Salvadorian people like that. You know, Mexicans here and there, at least what I grew up at, but mostly it was black, white. And then you had Vietnamese people in Port Arthur. But we didn't have really too much interactions or issues with them when I grew up. The first time I started hearing about tensions with blacks and Hispanics was when I started talking to people from California. They're like, man, I don't fool with them people. They're like, what you talking about? He's like, man, them people are hella racist. They don't like black people like that. And then the first time I heard that, it floored me, because I'm like, I never had those experiences with Hispanic people at all. I mean,
right, you know, that's part of the curses, man. You go to Deuteronomy, let's get that. All right, this is part of the curses, man. That let me see. It's part of the curses that we're gonna have an evil eye toward his brother. I think it was 28. I know it was 20. My fair, I'm tripping. I think it was like 50 something maybe. Cause really, all right, the tribes, Deuteronomy 28 really a lot of these really cleave to Judah really heavy, but it cleaves to all of us, man. All right, and these other tribes just fail to realize that they're under the curses too, and that this is all part of the part of the doing of Yahweh Shemi Shai, man, right? It's Deuteronomy 28:54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave. All right, but it's you know, and that evil eye, that evil eye is stereotyping and committing acts of violence against their brethren, man. Here in Chicago, and I can vouch for it too in California when I was there. Now I had quite a few Israelite friends out there. All right, yeah, but there was tension, man. All right, if you were caught, we didn't use the word lacking back then. See, if you caught slipping, they would jump you, they would shoot at you. If you're playing basketball, they having a ride past in their car, hey, they're gonna get out and they're gonna start shit. Especially here in Chicago, all right. The Mexicans think you're a gangster disciple, a GD or something, man. All right, you go to the neighborhoods, they're chasing you out. All right, there's a great deal of tension between Issachar and Jake, or Issachar and Northern and Southern Kingdom, man. All right, but it's all by design, all right, by Yahweh Shemi Shai, and it's being enforced by our Lord's overseer right now, which is Esau Edom, who pushes that separation amongst the tribes.
With Hispanic people at all. I mean, I never had those experiences. And they'll just tell me how the things are. Of course, the gang culture out there. Then over the years of me covering news, seeing how a lot of those Hispanic gangs, a lot of them are very cowardice. They attack, people who aren't even in that life like that. Or they were firebombing, people, trying to get them out of their neighborhoods or whatever, because they're trying to literally take over areas that black people have been in. And the part that I didn't like about it personally is that where was the response from the certifieds in the street in the black community to go ahead and squash that? Now, I know the brothers do respond in kind. I understand that, because I remember during the time of George Floyd, they had this area that they are at up there in the Chicago area, and they saw black people and they were just shooting at them or whatever. And I heard the brothers went handled that, and that was the end of that, okay? And the brothers should respond like that every single time. You don't let nobody just attack your people, especially innocent people. But when I started hearing all this, and then I remember, not after that, like my wife even told me, she said Hispanics, but I'm going to say Mexicans. She said Mexicans definitely could be more racist than white people. And I said, really? He's like, yeah. Oh.
Well, there is a envy. Let's get that. There's an envy amongst the tribes, man. Mostly against Northern and Southern Kingdom, man. All right. Brother have horror. I got horror stories of working with Issachar. All right. I got horror stories dealing with Issachar here in the streets. All right. This is all just part of the curses. And it's Isaiah 11:13. It says the envy also of Ephraim. Let me start up. See what that says. Isaiah 11:13, it says, the envy of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. All right? And let's go on that word envy real quick. It says ardor. Let's see what that means. Enthusiasm, passion, fervor, zeal. Intensity, zest, enthusiasm, dedication, devotion. All right. It says ardor, zeal, jealousy, jealous disposition, sexual passion of men or of men for the Most High, of men for the house of the Most High, of the Most High for his people, anger of men against adversaries, envy of man, resulting in the wrath of the Most High. So it's jealousy, man. All right. You know, Judah is so revered at his physical attributes, his spirit in Judah is something admired not only by Esau, Edom, and and the heathen, man, but also amongst our people, man. They're tall. I can say, just in general. I mean, they're physically impressive, man. All right, all the tribes are in their own way, but there's something about Judah that just sets them apart that people hate, man. All right, but this is something that the Lord is going to drive away from the tribes, man. All right, and all this infighting and territorial wars and not wanting your daughters or sons to marry each other. All right. Well, in all actuality, we're all the same people, man. And this is part of the curse, man. It's that division of our tribes, which doesn't allow us to come together, all right, as a whole nation, because of the envy. All right. Let me see if they got the cross references on here. Okay, this is really what I want right here. Because this is a prophecy that everybody hates to is scared to see to come to fruition. Now we've had truths, we've had times where Judah and Issachar, or some say Northern and Southern Kingdom, will come together, and march for peace and black and brown down, and things like that. But it doesn't last, man. All right? And, that gang culture, that hatred against your brother, all right, that you teach your children in your homes to be like you, talking about the parents. Then when they go to school, they go out in the world, they don't know how to communicate or how to act, toward one another, man. All right? But we're much more stronger and powerful together as a nation. And the Lord is bringing us back through this truth. You look up and you see a lot of Issacharites in these camps, man. You see a lot of Northern Kingdom in these camps. All right? Northern and Southern Kingdom together. All right? And then you're starting to see the Northern Kingdom have their own Spanish-speaking camps alongside of the main camps that they're in, or just have Spanish-speaking camps in their respective countries, man. Ezekiel 37:16, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. All right? And that's what's going on. And that's what's going on, man. Despite all the stereotypes, despite all the envy, and despite all the hatred, the Lord is bringing together the two sticks, man. When we're out there on the highways and the byways, and you see, because the Israelite camp teach right next to us, all right. Then you look at our camp, like you still have Israelites in our camp, all right. The ones that don't speak Spanish as well, or whatever the case may be, but they're mingled in with the darker shade of Jake, all right. when people come by, man, they marvel at that, man. All right, where people will perceive us to be gangbangers and miscreants without the garments, but even with the garments on, they look at us as if we had a third eye in the middle of our forehead, man. All right, because they don't understand that the Lord is bringing us together. All right, there's no strife, there's no contention between our brethren, man. All right. Play a little bit more of the video, and I'm gonna get out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You say white people, they take it so far. You say, but no, it's a lot. It's a lot of anti-black racism within the. You mentioned Mexican world, but definitely the Hispanic world. And then she got to talking about some other things, and I'll get into that as well because I have actually a long message I was sent actually by a Puerto Rican woman breaking down the thought processes and everything in that particular community and why she said she couldn't even deal with.
Did you know that in Texas, rifles can be carried in public without a license? Whereas in Florida, no open carry.
The community and why she said she couldn't even deal with the people of her own community no more because she's actually married to a brother. And then I'll cover that probably in a live stream on the news channel. But as this man is breaking down, say don't have black friends. It goes back to what I said the other day. What did we do to you? We're not talking about this man here. And like I said, individuals that I know who are family and friends, associates, they rock with me, I rock with them. I don't care the color, right? But when we talk about collectives of people, I've said, I don't do the collective thing. I only do individual thing, okay? As a collective of people, we did not do anything to the Hispanic community, no matter where they come from. We didn't take their land from them. I'm in Texas. There's no black American that took Texas from them. We didn't go over there and colonize Mexico or anywhere else. We didn't colonize nothing. We didn't force you to change.
Well, it's envy. All right, it's good to talk about. Let's see. The Proverbs 3:31, it says, "Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways." And you look at the Northern Kingdom as a whole. They're idol worshipers, man. All right, they have taken the stance of following and mirroring themselves after Esau, Edom, man. All right, they're Catholic. All right, they worship the Virgin Mary. You see, they separate themselves amongst color in their country. All right, you gotta watch these videos called being black in Mexico. All right, I forgot the guy's name. It was on Channel 11. He also did a documentary series about being black in South America, being black in Brazil, and things like that. But the point being is that the Northern Kingdom, their tribes particularly follow after Esau, Edom, man. All right, here they out here. We're really the lowest, one of the lowest of the nations about here, man. They work harder for the least amount of money. They work long hours. They're housed up in buildings 20, 30 deep. All right, to go work the fields, man. For day and night. You see, Esau hates their ass just as much as he hates the rest of the tribes, man. But for some reason, they want to be equal. But they feel like they're equal to Esau and better than Jake, man. All right, and that's the attitude that they have. Something else I want. Oh yeah, giving the idols. is Hosea 4:17. It says, Ephraim is joined to idols, let them alone. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love give ye. All right. And, you know, these idols are a big stumbling block for Ephraim, man. All right. They're bugged out, man. You know, they pray to the rosary beads, and you know they have these the Day of the Dead there. And those are not our customs, man. All right. And in Brazil, they got a big statue. They had a big statue of Jesus Christos on top of that mountain. I believe it fell down. All right, but Ephraim, you know, when it comes to the Northern Kingdom, man, you know, it's just it's part of the curses, man. All right, that's one thing about being in the truth. We know why things are the way they are. All right. That's basically it, man. You know, I'm not gonna play the whole video. There's more. This is a good interview, or a good watch. You know, and you know, it gives a lot of insight. So with that one, say, call Allah, y'all about to be all shy. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Until next time, shalom and a blah blah blah.